How about that cigar? And thanks so much for watching our live coverage of the 2021 PCA Trade Show.
How about that cigar? Live at PCA 2021. We are here with the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Herklots. Ferio Tego, how you doing?
What's happening? Are we live?
We are live.
We're live. Live. From Las
So it's honestly like the first hour and a half of the trade show. Things are just getting rolling. So tell us about, Ferio Tego. Give us the quick scoop, the lowdown, and the plan B that you went to for what I think is an awesome, fun plan B for what you're doing here with your display and hanging out with people at PCA.
So we'll do the first part.
Yeah.
So Ferio Tego is a small family business in the premium cigar world. It's myself, my partner Brendan. We were both former employees of Nat Sherman International. Unfortunately, Nat Sherman International closed, and we were forced to find new employment. And rather than search, we decided to do it ourselves. So Ferio Tego is a company, but Ferio Tego is also a brand. And so we're going to launch the Ferio Tego cigar line very, very soon. In fact, the cigars are done. We're just waiting for the final boxes to be completed and allow the paint. We're literally watching paint dry. Like that's the step that we're on right now, is watching paint dry. Then once those boxes are done, they're packed. Very limited run for 2021, but those should be ready to roll, I would say, within the next month. So we're super excited about that. And then we were able to acquire all the brands that Nat Sherman International used to sell. And so those are also in the hopper. The cigars are done. Yeah. We are watching paint dry. But we also, to be honest, we want to be really thoughtful about how we roll these brands back out. We don't just want to dump them, on everyone. So we're going to lead with Ferio Tego first. That's our flagship. That's our namesake, and it deserves to have its time first. And then we will follow that with Timeless and its 4 lines. So Timeless Prestige, Supreme, Sterling, and Panamericana. Those will come next. And then we'll bring Metropolitan back to market and its lines. So the Host is coming back, which I'm inundated with emails and texts and calls about Host. Host is coming back. The Connecticut, the Maduro, the Habano, the Host, and the Host Maduro, those are coming back. And that's where we're going to pause, is getting those back. We do have the right to do Epoca again if we'd like to, but that's a lot to prop up in a pretty short amount of time, and we want to make sure that we're giving everything proper time, that we're supporting our retailers to be able to move it, and that we can rebuild the enthusiasm and awareness that the brands are back, so consumers walk into stores and pull it out. Right. But we should be largely restored, I'd say, within the next 2 to 3 months. So a little off my timeline of summer. Now I think we're probably summer into very early fall. But the reality is when 2021 concludes, we are going to be fully launched and relaunched with the olds. So we're so excited. And honestly, and I mentioned this to you guys when we were off the air, but your advocacy and support through all of this and the opportunity to be on the show and share the story really means the world. And viewers have been just so incredibly supportive and enthusiastic in what feels like a very genuine sense of rooting for us. And I don't know how to express our gratitude enough for you and for your platform and for viewers who just take the time to, write a comment or send a direct message. It's all just like, there's nothing more frustrating than things not going exactly the way you want. Right. And from our perspective, that also comes with fear. Like, is this is the bottom going to fall out before we've even started because things aren't going exactly the way we want them to? And yet, my inbox every day is like, we're rooting for you and go do it. And this is awesome. And we're waiting, we're waiting. And, at this point, it makes no sense to make a 30-day or 45-day sacrifice and not do this right. We have to do it right. And I'll tell you, the products are right. The cigars are burning so incredibly well. The blends are so perfectly consistent with what they were. And Ferio Tego is literally the best I've ever done. And I'm so excited to be able to launch it.
Well, and I'll say this, that
You wanted a short answer, and that was obviously
no, that was
not a short answer.
that was a fantastic answer. But I will say this, that and we've talked about this before with you and even about you when you're not on the show. I know, right? So part of this that you're saying is coming from the fact that over the years you have built great relationships, and you've also, even outside of relationships, you've built a reputation as a just a solid guy in the industry. And that goes a long way, even to knowing that you're coming here and this trade show maybe didn't land right where you wanted it to land as far as having product and all that. But the fact that people are still care and pay attention and are anticipating and excited for what you have coming is just a testament to your integrity in the industry and excitement about the fact that people know that you know what tastes good when it comes to tobaccos. And I think that just continues to build the anticipation.
The level of support is really pretty overwhelming, and that's across the board. I mean, when we announced the bad news that we closed, we had to call our manufacturing partners and tell them that the volume is gone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was an awful conversation to have.
Oh yeah.
And yet all of them were like, look, whatever you do next, we've got you. Like whatever you need from us, we've got you.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was going to do next. You know, I was exploring options, but hearing that from manufacturing partners that were just told, you know, the well's dry, basically, to say their first reaction is whatever you need, we're here to help.
It's amazing.
And that's Quesada, Plasencia, and Davidoff in Honduras.
Yeah.
And then when we called them with the good news, actually, just kidding. We just got the brands, and now we want to re-hit the button. We did that in the middle of pandemic when their capacities were maxed out, right? Because we all know there's way more cigars being smoked now than there were a year and a half ago, and it's way harder to make them now with COVID restrictions. And so no one's looking for new orders, you know? And so then we show up like, you know, remember that thing we told you before? Actually, we want to prop it back up again. And instead of being like, listen, sorry, but we're maxed out. The answer was, we're going to fit this in. We're going to fit it in. Get us the orders, get us the timing, get us the sizes, you know, let's do it together. And that type of support and just collaborative spirit, it's, you know, they were rooting for us too. Everyone's rooting for this to work. And so it's going to be, you know, it's not perfect from a timing perspective, but it will be perfect from a quality perspective. And a year from now, it's not going to make a difference. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not going to make a difference. And if we rush it or if we cheat, we'd ruin it. Yeah. So it's not worth it. We have to do this the right way.
Yeah. Well, and it's also cool that, you know, you guys really did something kind of fun and cool. The fact that, you know, unfortunately your product's not here at the PCA trade show, because unfortunately the product isn't available yet, but you guys did this awesome Finish Your Cigar Lounge, which, as anybody who's been to a PCA trade show, you know that when you're going towards the doors, you'll have somebody tackle you if you're trying to walk out those doors with a lit cigar. Yeah. So to have a place where people can just sit and relax for a little while, and you've got the branding here so people can ask questions about it if they haven't already heard about it. And it's a fun, cool idea that just mixes it up a little bit.
We were going to have a booth.
Right.
And we were going to have product.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like happens so much, production timelines, you face challenges, you face delays, and our production timeline got pushed back. And I asked the PCA to move the show to accommodate our dates, and they, weren't very flexible.
So unreasonable.
But I'll tell you, we wanted to be here in support.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to have a place to say thank you to people for everything, for the business over 10 years,
Yeah.
for their support as we had to close, and now the overwhelming support as we launched Ferio Tego.
Yeah.
We couldn't not be where our industry is and say thank you as many times as we could.
Yeah.
And so we worked with the PCA to say, you know, we can't have a booth with no product.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And this was pre-existing. They were going to have this finish your cigar lounge on the way out the door. And it was actually PCA's idea.
Okay.
Why don't we brand it and let that be your opportunity?
Absolutely.
And so, you know, I have no samples. I don't have price lists. I don't have any of the things that one would need in a trade show.
Yeah.
I have none of them.
Yeah.
What I do have is a heart full of gratitude and appreciation.
Yeah.
And a million stories to tell.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's been so great to hug people and you know, tell them our story and share the news.
Right.
and feel their energy and love back. This is going to be great.
Yeah. And it's, so we go back and watch the full interview that we had with Michael a few months ago.
Watch them both.
And watch them both, because there's interesting parts in both. But we just want to say again, we're excited for the launch. We're excited for what's coming, and we have just as much anticipation as our viewers do, as your future consumers have. And you know,
Well, you said it earlier. This is a huge show for both of us.
yeah, first
This is
trade show.
First debut 2021 for
Right.
you guys and for us.
Yeah.
You're just more prepared than I.
Well, we didn't have to have product. Oh, nice.
Dude, Raph, I mean, talk
Brother.
about a dream come true. Raph has done it.
Yeah.
And that's such a great example. You know, we overuse this cliche about our industry is family and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. I mean, but it is, man. I mean, it is. And you know, that kind of support from in any other industry in the world, it wouldn't happen, because competition would trump community.
Right.
And in our industry, it doesn't
It's
happen,
the opposite.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's, Raph, I love you to bits, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that's and that's, you would not see that in a different type of industry where a bit
Even in the tobacco industry, when you get outside of premium cigars, it's a completely different world.
Right.
But the premium cigar space, premium cigars are so special because they are misunderstood by the majority
Yeah.
of people. But for those who get it, there's just nothing like it. I was talking to a guy, I equated it, premium cigars are to tobacco what jazz is to music.
Amen.
Like,
That's
most
perfect.
people don't get it, and if they hear it, they're like, that doesn't make any, like, is the saxophone guy having a stroke? Like,
Right.
you know, where's the chorus? I don't understand where the chorus
Right.
is. So to most people, they don't get it. But if you understand it and you love it,
Yeah.
you could hear a sax solo without knowing the song and probably know what changes he's playing over and
Right.
recognize the song,
Yeah.
right? But you have to speak the language, and you have to you have to have the ear and the heart and the passion to really understand it. But
Yeah.
when you do, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And then when you meet other people that love jazz, you have a camaraderie and a relationship because you love something that is so misunderstood. And premium cigars are exactly the same. That's why, as competitors, we love each other and we sit at the bar and we drink and we don't just like trade stories. We trade tips. We trade, we help each other get into other accounts. On what planet would
Right.
would two competing companies make a pitch for a company that they don't own or sell?
Right.
But it's that level of passion and advocacy that we have that is so unique and so special that it's going to just continue to allow our industry
Yeah.
to grow. And I'm so happy to be a part of it.
That's why we are too, honestly. And that's why we do this. We cover the show. And honestly, Michael, we are so excited for the next few months, and we're so excited to see the products launch and to get our hands on them and smoke them and enjoy them, and look forward to just a killer rest of 2021 for you and beyond.
I appreciate the opportunity to be on, and for folks who watch, I would ask first, again, thank you for the support. And I would just beg your patience and understanding for a little while longer. The product is coming, and when it lands, it's going to be great. So please walk into your stores, walk into them now, and start asking for our products. Let your retailers know that you want them, so that when they land, we can get them in, we can get them out, and we rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, be on the lookout for Ferio Tego. Like Michael said, ask your retailers for them early. Ask them early, and stay with us as always through this.
Oh yeah, website feriotego.com, and follow us on Instagram at Ferio Tego, Twitter Ferio Tego Cigars, Facebook Ferio Tego.
Yes.
But please find us, follow us, like us, do whatever you're supposed to do. Push a button, subscribe. You can do that.
Yeah.
And but thank you for the support.
Yeah. So stay with us all week, all weekend. We're going to be covering the whole PCA trade show. So thanks again, and stay with us on How About That Cigar. See you guys.
Ferio Tego.